Amy Roloff and Marek divorce announced. The announcement hit the world of reality television like a thunderclap. Amy Roloff and Marek, one of the most beloved couples from TLC's Little People, Big World, had decided to part ways. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Elena and I hope you are well. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel USA Dramatic Show and press the bell icon. For years, fans had followed Amy's journey, from her struggles during her marriage to Matt Roloff, to her brave leap into a second chance at love with Chris, and finally to the wedding that millions of viewers celebrated alongside them. But now, the fairy tale that once gave hope to many had unraveled, leaving not only the Roloff family shaken but also viewers who had invested their emotions into Amy's story. It began quietly, almost like a rumor that fans didn't want to believe. Social media whispers grew louder when Amy appeared in public without her wedding ring. Soon after, tabloids confirmed what many had feared. The couple had issued a joint statement announcing their divorce. After much thought, prayer, and difficult conversations, we have decided to end our marriage. While this is not the outcome we hoped for, we both believe it is the best decision for our lives going forward. We remain friends and will continue to support each other in the next chapters of our journeys. We ask for privacy during this very difficult time. The carefully chosen words tried to soften the blow, but they couldn't hide the pain. Fans flooded Amy's Instagram with comments of shock, sorrow, and support. Many recalled how Amy once cried on national television after her divorce from Matt Roloff, fearing she would never find love again. To see her marriage with Chris end so soon was devastating. Amy Roloff, known for her resilience, had always been open about her struggles. After her 27-year marriage to Matt Roloff ended, she confessed how difficult it was to start over. Meeting Chris had seemed like a miracle. He was kind, patient, and appeared to adore Amy for who she was, not just as a reality TV star but as a woman. Their wedding, held at Roloff Farms in 2021, had been nothing short of magical. Amy wore a beautiful lace gown. Chris beamed with joy, and the Roloff children were there to celebrate their mother's new chapter. Fans remembered Amy's words during the ceremony. "I never thought this day would come for me again, but here I am, marrying the man I love, who makes me laugh, who makes me feel safe, and who accepts me just as I am." Those vows now felt bittersweet in light of the divorce announcement. While the public often saw smiles, romantic getaways, and happy Instagram posts, insiders suggested that cracks had been forming for some time. Some close to the couple revealed that Amy struggled with a fast pace of Chris's lifestyle. Chris loved road trips, motorcycle rides, and constant adventures, while Amy was more traditional, cherishing family dinners, cooking, and staying close to her children and grandchildren. The differences, once charming, grew into disagreements. There were also whispers that the pressures of filming Little People, Big World added tension. Chris, who wasn't used to constant cameras, often found himself frustrated with production schedules. Amy, a veteran of reality TV, felt torn between her career and her marriage. A source close to the Roloff family revealed. Amy wanted stability and time with her grandkids, while Chris wanted excitement and travel. Neither of them was wrong, but their dreams started going in different directions. The fan community exploded with reactions. On Twitter, hashtags like #AmyandChrisDivorce and #LPBWHeartbreak began trending. Longtime viewers expressed heartbreak, comparing this split to when Amy and Matt divorced. Some fans wrote messages like, "Amy deserves happiness. I hope she finds peace after this heartbreak. Chris seemed like the perfect guy. I can't believe this is happening. First Matt and Amy, now this? It feels like the end of an era." Others, however, speculated whether this divorce might be used as a storyline for TLC's next season. Critics accused the show of milking personal tragedies for ratings, though loyal fans defended Amy's authenticity. Unlike Amy, who shared occasional updates, Chris remained mostly silent after the announcement. He was spotted in Oregon, appearing somber and avoiding cameras. Friends said he was devastated by the outcome, though he respected Amy's decision. Chris had once told a magazine that marrying Amy was the best decision of his life. The sudden shift from that declaration to divorce shocked not only fans, but also those who knew them personally. One friend commented, "Chris never expected this. He thought they'd grow old together." But sometimes love isn't enough when lifestyles don't align. The Roloff children, Zach, Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob, had mixed feelings. Having already witnessed their parents' painful divorce years earlier, they were protective of their mother. Zach was reportedly the most vocal, telling friends he wanted his mom to focus on herself and the grandkids, rather than rushing into another romance. Tori Roloff, Zach's wife, wrote a supportive message on Instagram. "Family comes first. Amy is one of the strongest women I know and will always stand by her side." Meanwhile, speculation grew about Matt Roloff's reaction. Matt and Amy had their share of bitter history, and though both had moved on, Matt with longtime partner Karen Chandler, the idea of Amy's second marriage failing stirred emotions. Some insiders claimed Matt felt sympathy but also vindication, believing he and Amy had always been too different to sustain lasting marriages. TLC's next move. With the divorce announcement, questions swirled about the future of Little People, Big World. Would the show cover Amy and Chris's split in detail? Would Amy even want to continue filming during such a personal crisis? Producers remained tight-lipped, but TLC insiders hinted that the divorce storyline could become a major arc in the upcoming season. After all, the series had built its reputation on showing the Roloff family's real struggles. After the storm of headlines, Amy retreated to her Oregon home. Close friends reported that she spent more time in her kitchen, cooking comfort food, baking pies, and finding solace in the simple things. She also leaned heavily on her faith. Amy, who has often spoken about the role of prayer in her life, attended church more regularly and surrounded herself with friends from her community. In a heartfelt Instagram Live session, she finally addressed her fans directly. "This isn't the story I wanted. I believed in us. I believed in love. But sometimes, even when two good people come together, it doesn't work out the way you hoped. I don't regret loving Chris. I don't regret marrying him. I just know that right now I need to heal, to rediscover myself, and to focus on the people who bring me joy every day." Her voice cracked with emotion, but her strength shone through. The divorce announcement of Amy Roloff and Chris Marek had shaken fans, but in the weeks that followed, the fallout became even more dramatic. What had started as a joint statement quickly snowballed into a storm of speculation, rumors, and emotional confrontations within the Roloff family. At first, Chris chose silence. He avoided interviews, canceled a few public appearances, and even turned down TLC's request for a sit-down confessional. For a man who had once embraced the cameras with ease, his retreat spoke volumes. But silence couldn't last forever. After weeks of pressure, Chris finally broke his silence in an exclusive interview with People magazine. "This is not what I wanted," he confessed, his tone heavy with grief. "When I married Amy, I believed it was forever. We both came into this later in life, and I thought we understood what we needed. But over time, we realized we wanted very different things. That doesn't mean we didn't love each other. It just means our paths were not aligned." Chris admitted that he had often clashed with Amy over lifestyle choices. He loved adventure, road trips, and spontaneous getaways. Amy, however, preferred the comfort of her home, her grandchildren, and her routines. "Amy has such a strong bond with her family," he explained, "and I respect that. But I wanted more exploration, more new experiences. Sometimes, love isn't enough to bridge that gap." His words painted a picture not of betrayal, but of two people who had simply grown apart. Yet, many fans still struggled to accept the reality. Meanwhile, Amy continued to project quiet strength. On her social media, she shared photos of her cooking, gardening, and spending time with her grandchildren. Fans noticed she seemed more focused on family than ever before. In one Instagram post, she wrote, "Family and faith are what carry me through the hardest times. Life isn't always fair, and it's rarely easy, but it's always worth living. I'm grateful for the love and support around me." The post garnered hundreds of thousands of likes and thousands of comments. Fans admired her resilience, comparing her to a phoenix rising from the ashes, burned, but never destroyed. The divorce inevitably stirred memories of Amy's first marriage. Matt Roloff, now happily engaged to Karen Chandler, was reportedly shocked by the announcement. An insider close to the Roloff family revealed, Matt had complicated feelings. On one hand, he truly sympathized with Amy. He knows how painful divorce can be. But part of him also felt vindicated, like it proved that he and Amy really were never compatible, no matter who they married. Amy, however, bristled at any suggestion of vindication. Privately, she told friends she didn't want Matt's sympathy or judgment. "This is my story, not his," she reportedly said. "I don't need comparisons, and I don't need him using this as proof of anything." The subtle tension between the ex-spouses added another layer of drama to the family's already strained dynamic. Karen Chandler, Matt's fiancée, reacted differently. Friends described her as unexpectedly compassionate toward Amy. Despite years of tension and awkwardness, Karen reached out privately. A source revealed, Karen sent Amy a text telling her she was sorry things didn't work out with Chris. She told Amy she hoped she would find peace and happiness, no matter what. Amy reportedly appreciated the gesture, though she kept her response brief. It was one of the few moments of civility between the two women, who had often been portrayed as rivals on the show. The Roloff children once again found themselves in the middle of a storm. Having already endured their parents' divorce years earlier, they now had to watch their mother go through heartbreak all over again. Zach, in particular, felt protective. He confided in friends that he worried Amy was too trusting when it came to relationships. "She gives her whole heart, and when it falls apart, it hurts even more," he reportedly said. Jeremy, who has distanced himself from filming, expressed sympathy but urged privacy. Molly, the most private of the Roloff siblings, called her mom often, checking in and encouraging her to focus on self-care. Jacob, the youngest, expressed frustration at TLC for what he viewed as exploitation. He tweeted, "Not everything has to be a storyline. Some things should just be family." The tweet went viral, sparking debates about whether reality TV had crossed a line in showcasing the Roloff family's personal struggles. Behind the scenes, TLC executives faced a tough decision. Ratings for Little People, Big World had declined in recent seasons, but Amy and Chris's divorce presented a storyline that could reignite interest. However, exploiting Amy's pain risked alienating fans and the Roloff family. Producers debated whether to dedicate a full season to the divorce or handle it more delicately. One producer reportedly said, "The divorce is a major event in Amy's life, and fans will want to see how she handles it. But we have to balance storytelling with respect." As with any reality TV breakup, conspiracy theories flourished online. Some fans speculated that Chris had cheated, though no evidence supported this claim. Others suggested Amy had grown tired of the cameras and orchestrated the divorce to step away from the show. A particularly wild theory claimed that Matt and Karen's engagement had indirectly caused the split, sparking jealousy or unresolved feelings. While most of these theories were baseless, they reflected the intensity of fan investment in the Roloff family. Despite the heartbreak, Amy began to rebuild her life. She launched new cooking workshops online, shared motivational messages, and hinted at writing another book. Friends described her as determined to focus on her passions rather than romance. "She's not looking for another relationship anytime soon," one friend said. "She wants to focus on being a mom, grandma, and entrepreneur." Fans rallied behind her, praising her strength and independence. Many even compared her to other reality TV stars who had reinvented themselves after divorce, calling Amy an inspiration for women everywhere. Meanwhile, Chris struggled with loneliness. Friends admitted he missed Amy deeply, despite agreeing with the decision to divorce. He moved into a smaller home outside Portland and was often spotted dining alone. When asked if he would ever date again, Chris responded cautiously, "Right now, my heart is still healing. Amy will always be part of my life story. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not rushing anything." His somber words only added to the sense of tragedy surrounding their split. The divorce left the Little People, big world fanbase divided. Some sided with Amy, praising her courage and resilience. Others sympathized with Chris, believing he had been unfairly judged. Message boards and fan groups buzzed with debates, dissecting every detail of their marriage and breakup. The Roloffs, once viewed as symbols of family unity, were now the subject of constant controversy. As the dust began to settle, one question lingered: what was next for Amy Roloff? Her divorce from Chris Marek was not just the end of a marriage, it was the end of an era. For years, she had been defined by her relationships, first with Matt, then with Chris. Now, for the first time in decades, she stood on her own. The announcement of Amy Roloff and Chris Marek's divorce was still echoing across tabloids and social media when a new wave of drama began to build, one that went beyond Amy and Chris themselves. What started as a personal heartbreak was now becoming a family-wide storm that threatened to change the course of Little People, Big World forever. Inside TLC's production offices, heated debates were taking place. The show had been running for nearly 2 decades, but ratings had been slipping in recent years. Amy and Chris's divorce presented a golden opportunity to reignite interest. One producer reportedly pitched an entire season arc built around the divorce: Amy's healing journey, Chris's emotional interviews, and the Roloff children's reactions. But others warned against turning the divorce into a spectacle. Amy is the heart of this show, one senior producer argued. If we exploit her pain, we risk losing her, and without Amy, there is no Little People, Big World. Another countered: the fans want authenticity. This is part of her story. If we hide it, we lose credibility. The compromise? TLC would allow Amy to set boundaries. She could choose what parts of her divorce journey were filmed and what remained private. Still, the cameras were already rolling, capturing the emotional fallout. As if the divorce wasn't enough drama, Matt Roloff dropped his own bombshell only weeks later. He and Karen Chandler were officially engaged. The timing was controversial. Many fans felt it was insensitive for Matt to make such an announcement while Amy was grieving the end of her second marriage. Others accused him of deliberately trying to overshadow Amy's storyline with his own. On Instagram, Matt posted a photo of himself and Karen smiling with her new engagement ring. The caption read, "She said yes. Excited to start this new chapter together. Life is about moving forward with love and hope." While his followers congratulated him, Amy's supporters flooded the comments with criticism. This feels like a slap in Amy's face. Couldn't you wait a little longer? Always about timing, Matt. You just couldn't let her have her moment. Privately, Amy was blindsided. Friends revealed she hadn't been informed beforehand, and the public announcement stung. It was like ripping open a fresh wound, one confidant shared. She was still processing her own divorce when Matt decided to flaunt his engagement. Publicly, however, Amy remained composed. When asked about Matt and Karen, she said, "I wish them well. We've both moved on in different ways. My focus right now is my family and healing. That's all I have to say." Her measured words only highlighted her grace, though her guarded tone suggested deeper feelings she wasn't ready to share. The engagement announcement reignited old divisions within the Roloff family. Zach and Tori reportedly disapproved of the timing, with Tori posting a cryptic Instagram story. Some people don't understand empathy. Timing matters. Fans immediately connected it to Matt's announcement. Jeremy, on the other hand, congratulated his father privately, though he urged him to handle public appearances more delicately. Molly stayed silent, while Jacob criticized the media frenzy, tweeting, "Our family's personal lives aren't a soap opera." Yet, like it or not, the Roloffs were living in one. Amidst the chaos, Chris Marek gave a second interview, this time sounding more reflective than heartbroken. "I don't want people to villainize Amy, and I don't want them to pity me," he said. "We both tried. We both loved each other. But sometimes two good people just aren't right for each other in the long run. That's life." When asked about Matt and Karen's engagement, Chris diplomatically responded, "I hope they're happy. I don't get involved in Amy and Matt's past. That's their story, not mine." His restraint won him admiration from some fans, but others accused him of distancing himself too quickly. Rather than dwell on the drama, Amy poured her energy into her passions. She expanded her cooking workshops, began planning new recipes for her cookbook, and took comfort in time spent with her grandchildren. Her Instagram became a gallery of pies, family dinners, and motivational quotes. One caption read, "When life doesn't go the way you planned, you cook. You love your people. You find joy in the little things." The posts resonated with fans, many of whom saw Amy as a symbol of resilience. The fanbase split into camps: Team Amy, Team Chris, and even Team Matt and Karen. Online forums buzzed with debates about who was right, who was wrong, and whether the show should even continue. Some argued TLC was exploiting the family's heartbreak for profit. Others insisted the Roloffs knew what they signed up for when they agreed to reality TV. The tension grew so intense that some longtime fans announced they were boycotting the next season. Yet others promised to tune in more than ever, eager to see the drama unfold. Despite the controversies, TLC moved forward with production. The new season would feature Amy navigating single life after her second divorce, Chris adjusting to life outside the Roloff spotlight, Matt and Karen planning their wedding, the children reacting to the whirlwind of changes. Producers teased it as the most emotional season yet. One of the season's most anticipated moments was a sit-down between Amy and Chris, filmed for the show. In it, the former couple spoke candidly for the first time since their divorce announcement. "Amy, I thought we had forever, Chris. I believed in us." Chris, "So did I. But we wanted different lives. That doesn't mean I didn't love you." Amy, "It just hurts that love wasn't enough." Chris, "It hurts me too." The raw exchange left viewers in tears. For many, it captured the painful reality that not all love stories have happy endings. In another shocking scene, Amy and Matt were filmed having coffee together. Their conversation was civil, but heavy with unspoken history. Matt, "I know what you're going through. Divorce isn't easy."
Amy, "No, it's not. But this isn't about you, Matt."
"This is my journey." Matt, "I just hope you know you'll be okay." Amy, "I always find a way." The interaction, though brief, reminded fans of their complicated past. It also fueled speculation that TLC might be pushing for more reunion-style moments between the exes. By the end of filming, it was clear Amy's divorce from Chris was not just a personal event, but a turning point for the entire Roloff family and the future of Little People, Big World. The family was more divided than ever, the fanbase was polarized, and Amy herself stood at a crossroads. Yet, through it all, she continued to embody resilience, choosing grace over bitterness and growth over defeat. As one fan commented on her Instagram, "Amy, you're proof that life doesn't end after heartbreak. It just begins a new chapter." And for Amy Roloff, that new chapter was only just beginning. The dust had barely settled on Amy Roloff and Chris Marek's divorce when new headlines began to dominate entertainment outlets. Matt Roloff and Karen Chandler were deep in wedding planning. The juxtaposition was jarring. One Roloff marriage had just crumbled, while another relationship within the same family was racing toward a grand celebration. For the Roloffs, the next chapter was shaping up to be one of contrast, love and heartbreak, beginnings and endings, unity and division, all unfolding under the glare of the public eye. Matt and Karen dove headfirst into their wedding plans. Unlike Amy's rustic and intimate wedding at Roloff Farms in 2021, Matt envisioned something grander. He spoke about building a new venue on the property, a dream space that could serve both as their wedding site and as a rental venue for future events. "I want our wedding to reflect who we are," Matt explained in a TLC teaser. Amy's wedding was beautiful, but ours will be different.
Bigger. More modern.
Something memorable. Karen, while excited, admitted to feeling the pressure. Fans compared every detail to Amy's wedding, and Karen knew she would never escape the shadow of her fiancé's ex-wife. In a candid confessional, Karen sighed, "No matter what we do, people will say I'm copying Amy, or I'm trying to outshine her. I can't win." All I can do is marry the man I love. Meanwhile, Amy was charting her own path. Her divorce from Chris had left her shaken, but not defeated. Rather than retreat, she embraced her independence with renewed determination. She threw herself into her cooking brand, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, hosting live classes and selling homemade products online. She also began speaking at women's events, sharing her story of resilience and encouraging others to embrace second chances, even when they don't work out. Life is about chapters, Amy told an audience of nearly 1,000 women at a Portland conference. Some chapters are filled with love, others with pain. But each one teaches us something valuable. And no matter what, the story goes on. Her words drew standing ovations. Fans began to see Amy not just as a reality star, but as a motivational figure, a woman who had faced heartbreak twice and still stood tall. While Amy thrived in the public eye, Chris retreated into privacy. After years of being thrust into the spotlight, he now seemed content with a quieter life. He sold his motorcycle, moved into a modest home in a Portland suburb, and took up gardening as a new hobby. In rare interviews, Chris admitted he missed Amy, but he insisted he had no regrets. "We had something real," he said softly. "I'll always be grateful for our time together. Now I'm just trying to find peace." Friends described Chris as lonely, but healing. He joined a local hiking group, volunteered at a community center, and slowly built a circle of friends outside the Roloff orbit. Some fans speculated whether he would appear in future seasons of Little People, Big World. TLC insiders hinted his role would be minimal, if at all. For Chris, that was likely a relief. As Matt and Karen's wedding planning intensified, the Roloff children found themselves caught in the middle once again. Zach and Tori made it clear they wouldn't play a big role in Matt's wedding. While they wished him happiness, their loyalty remained firmly with Amy. Tori posted, "We'll always be there for Grandma Amy. She's our rock." Jeremy and Audrey were more neutral. Though Audrey clashed with Amy in the past, she encouraged Jeremy to maintain peace. "At the end of the day, they're all family," she said. Molly kept her distance as usual, but quietly supported Amy through phone calls and visits. Jacob was openly critical of TLC. He accused the network of turning the family into a circus and hinted he would boycott his father's wedding if it became a filming spectacle. These divisions mirrored the fractures that had plagued the Roloff family for years. For TLC, the drama was ratings gold, but also a nightmare to manage. Executives knew fans would tune in for Amy's healing, Chris's reflections, and Matt and Karen's wedding. But the network also feared pushing the family too far. One insider revealed, "The Roloffs have been the backbone of TLC for almost 2 decades. We want to tell their story, but the family is more fractured than ever. It's a delicate balance." TLC crafted the new season to highlight 3 parallel storylines. Amy's life as an independent woman post-divorce. Chris's quiet journey of rediscovery. Matt and Karen's high-profile wedding planning. When TLC dropped the season trailer, fan reactions exploded online. Some cheered Amy's independence. "She's stronger than ever. Go Amy. This is the role model we need. She's showing us you can thrive after heartbreak." Others were skeptical about Matt and Karen. "This wedding feels forced. It's like they're trying too hard to compete with Amy. I won't watch if Karen takes Amy's place as the main focus." And a surprising number expressed sympathy for Chris. "He's the most authentic one in this whole mess. Poor guy just wanted a simple life, not reality TV drama." The divided fanbase reflected the broader fractures within the Roloff family itself. One of the season's most emotional moments came when Amy returned to Roloff Farms to visit Matt and Karen. It was the first time she had stepped foot on the property since her divorce from Chris. Walking through the fields where she had once built a life with Matt, then married Chris, Amy was overwhelmed with emotion. In her confessional, she admitted, "So much of my life happened here. Love, heartbreak, family, joy, pain. It's strange to come back knowing things are so different now. But I guess that's life. It changes, whether you want it to or not." Fans described the scene as heartbreaking but empowering, a reminder of Amy's resilience. As wedding planning accelerated, Karen faced her own challenges. Fans compared her constantly to Amy, scrutinizing her every decision. In a candid interview, Karen confessed, "I know I'll never be accepted by everyone. Some people will always see me as the outsider, the one who came after Amy. But Matt and I love each other, and that's what matters." Her vulnerability earned her some sympathy, though many fans remained skeptical. In a surprising twist, Chris and Amy crossed paths at a charity event in Portland. Cameras captured the awkward but civil reunion. "Amy, it's been a while." Chris, "Yeah. You look good, Amy." "Amy, thank you. You too." They exchanged pleasantries, and while the moment was brief, it hinted at lingering respect between them. Fans praised the encounter as proof that their love, though ended, had not soured into bitterness. As the season unfolded, one question loomed large. How much longer could the Roloff family continue to share their lives on television? The family was fractured, the fans were divided, and the storylines were increasingly centered on pain and controversy. Some insiders whispered that the show might be nearing its end, while others argued it still had years of life left. The Roloff family had been through many storms, but none as turbulent as the events of the past year. Amy and Chris's divorce had shaken fans, Matt and Karen's engagement had reignited old tensions, and TLC had carefully walked the line between storytelling and exploitation. Now, the story was moving toward its climax, a wedding, a farewell, and the possibility of the end of an era. The day finally arrived. Matt Roloff and Karen Chandler's wedding. Held at a newly built venue on Roloff Farms, the ceremony was both lavish and emotional. Matt stood in front of family and friends in a tailored gray suit, while Karen wore a flowing ivory gown with lace sleeves. The venue overlooked the sprawling pumpkin fields that had become iconic for the Roloff name. But the joy was tinged with tension. Some of the Roloff children attended out of obligation rather than enthusiasm. Zach and Tori arrived late, sitting quietly in the back. Jeremy and Audrey smiled politely for cameras, but avoided interviews. Molly attended briefly, avoiding the spotlight as always. Jacob refused to come, citing his distaste for TLC's involvement. Amy herself did not attend. She had declined Matt's invitation weeks earlier, explaining gently but firmly, "I wish you both well, but I can't be there. That chapter of my life is closed, and I need to honor that." Her absence was noticeable, but perhaps inevitable. The ceremony went smoothly. Matt and Karen exchanged vows about second chances and choosing joy, themes that resonated with their supporters. Yet for many fans, the event felt overshadowed by Amy's absence and the lingering drama. While Matt and Karen married, Amy spent the day surrounded by her grandchildren at her home. She cooked a big dinner, baked pies with the little ones, and later posted a photo of her family gathered around her dining table. Her caption read, "Family is where my heart is." Today was about love in its purest form, the love of children, the love of family, and the love of life itself. The post received hundreds of thousands of likes, far surpassing engagement on Matt and Karen's wedding photos. Fans declared that Amy had won the day, without even attending. As the Roloffs moved on with their separate lives, Marek quietly faded from the spotlight. He gave one final interview, in which he spoke warmly about his time with Amy. "I'll always care about Amy. She taught me a lot about love and about myself. We didn't end the way I hoped, but that doesn't erase what we had. I'm grateful, and I wish her nothing but happiness." After that, Chris withdrew almost entirely from public life. He stopped appearing at public events, made his social media private, and focused on a small circle of friends. For fans, it was a bittersweet ending, one that underscored how different Chris's life was from the reality TV world Amy remained tied to. As Matt and Karen's wedding aired, TLC executives faced a decision. Should Little People, Big World continue, or was it time to end the show? Ratings for the wedding episode spiked, drawing the largest audience in years. But insiders acknowledged that the family was more fractured than ever. Some of the children refused to film, and Amy herself was considering stepping back. In a private meeting, Amy reportedly told producers, "I've shared my life for a long time, maybe too long, but I don't regret it. If this is the end, I want to end it with gratitude, not bitterness." Her words carried weight. TLC began discussing the possibility of a final season that would serve as a farewell to the Roloff family story. Fans reacted with mixed emotions. Many felt the show had run its course, saying it was better to end on a note of closure than drag out more pain. Others insisted they would follow Amy forever, whether on TLC or through her personal ventures. Message boards filled with nostalgia. Fans reminisced about the early seasons when the Roloffs were united, raising children together on the farm. Some lamented how fame and television had changed everything. Yet, nearly everyone agreed on one point: Amy Roloff had become the heart and soul of the show. Months after Matt and Karen's wedding, Amy reached her own moment of closure. She released a new memoir titled Choosing Joy: Life After Heartbreak. In it, she shared candid reflections about her marriages, her divorces, and her journey toward self-acceptance. In one passage, she wrote, "I've learned that love is not about finding someone who completes you. It's about being whole on your own and sharing that wholeness with another. Twice I gave my heart completely, and twice it ended in heartbreak. But both times I grew stronger. I am not defined by who I married or divorced. I am defined by the woman I choose to be today." The book became a bestseller, solidifying Amy's role as more than a reality TV star. She was now an author, speaker, and symbol of resilience. For the Roloffs, life continued, though not without strain. Matt and Karen settled into married life, while Amy thrived independently. The children pursued their own paths, with varying levels of involvement in the family legacy. The farm itself remained a point of contention. Matt had once hoped to pass it down to his children, but after years of disagreements, it became clear that dream had faded. Some whispered that the farm might eventually be sold, marking the true end of an era. In a tearful announcement, TLC confirmed the next season would be the last. The network promised a farewell season that would honor the family's journey from the very beginning. Amy, standing in front of her kitchen counter in a teaser, told viewers, "When we started this show, I never imagined it would last this long. We've shared our highs, our lows, and everything in between. It hasn't always been easy, but it's been real. And now, it's time to close this chapter with gratitude." Fans braced themselves for emotional goodbyes. As the final season aired, one truth became clear. Amy Roloff was the heart of the story. She had endured heartbreak, criticism, and the scrutiny of millions, yet she had always come out stronger. Her journey, through marriage, divorce, remarriage, and independence, had resonated with fans worldwide. She wasn't perfect, and she never claimed to be. That authenticity was what made her beloved. In the series finale, Amy stood in her garden, surrounded by her grandchildren. With tears in her eyes, she reflected, "Life is not about what you lose. It's about what you find along the way. I've found love, I've found pain, but most importantly, I've found myself. And that's the greatest gift of all." As the cameras faded out for the last time, fans realized they were witnessing not just the end of a show, but the end of a cultural chapter. Little People, Big World had started as a story about a unique family running a farm, but it became something much bigger, a story about resilience, love, heartbreak, and hope. Amy Roloff, standing tall through it all, became the symbol of that journey. And while the show ended, her story continued, off-camera, in kitchens, gardens, family dinners, and in the quiet strength of a woman who refused to be defined by loss.